Welcome back to the Daily Dose. That's Robert. I'm Susan. We're talking about Robert's newly released book, Acceptance, and the journey that he took to get his PhD and to develop, found a nonprofit. We haven't even gotten to the nonprofit yet. Um, the challenge with getting the PhD was largely based on the committee of people who agreed to be on your committee and then weren't guiding you. And one of the most stunning things that I remember hearing along the way was that there was a new student handbook for the interdisciplinary health sciences that no one told you about. And then, if I remember right, you were sort of penalized for not knowing things that.
So it wasn't the first time there was critical information that affected how I was going to matriculate through the program and also had some autonomy, had some power to choose how I wanted to. And not only was it not made available, I was in fact, you know, warned against invoking it as if I was doing something wrong. And the truth was there was nothing wrong. The truth was I was challenging power of institutional beings who wanted it their way. And they wanted my PhD their way. And to that, I can only say, fuck you. And that's, that's in the strongest terms. You don't do that to students. You don't do that to people who are patients. You don't do that to anybody with whom you wield power over. It is an abuse of power and it is abuse of an individual. You just don't do it. And they did. And they is they. And I don't think, again, that I hope I made clear in the book, they are not bad people. I think they're institutionalized into believing they're serving something, and that is the thing. It's the same way that people become blind toward a political party, toward a company, toward a certain sect of their family or religion, and they're no longer listening to the people. They're not recognizing A, their status or their power, how they're wielding it over others. Sports teams do this all the time, and now they are abusing individuals and not even realizing it. So again, I want to make that very clear. I don't think they're behind closed door going, how could I screw Robert Cochran? It wasn't that deep. They are in a very siloed position, just going, this is what it is. And I'm over here going, you might consider, and they're going, no. And I'm saying, but you might. And they're saying no, and you say it again, and you're going to be removed from the program. Either come in here or go somewhere else. That's not okay.
And yet it's what happened. And I
And it happens. I want to say, I mean, I'm not the only one. I mean,
that's
Dustin has his own version of it, and academic abuse, just like patients, not just with Parkinson's, but others, are not heard. And again, it's not because doctors are bad people, but again, there are certain ones that get here with their training and with their institutions, and they tell that their patients, you either come to my treatment or, you know, whatever form of abuse we hear.
and to respond to something you just said, I did see the individual, um, the moments when you uh, complimented or admired in any of the individuals on your first committee, uh, and their strengths and their gifts. And I remember because I was frustrated and scared for you as I'm reading the book. I mean, it is. I guess it probably says PhD on the front cover, so maybe the reader knows that you actually survived the program. As you
We
told the
know the
story, though,
Titanic sunk. It's okay.
yeah. um, Whenever I ran across one of those kind things that you said about people who sometimes were kind to you, but for the most part, academically, were so stringent. And I was very touched and sort of surprised that you were being nice to somebody that I was mad at. That I didn't feel like was serving
I
the
I hope
purpose.
I hope it unifies the message, because to this day I don't wish ill will upon any of them.
No, and that's clear in the
You
book.
know, and the yes and is, I need to tell the truth of the story the way it felt.
Yes. We're
And
out of time for this dose. We haven't even talked about the other half of your life, which is you formed a nonprofit and took off in that direction. Would you like to do that?
I think we shall. We'll see you on the next dose. Let's chat.